I do have a quick comment before. I just came from Florida. That's for Dr. Celestin. Two questions. I just came from Florida. We did an event. Marissa, where were they? My first question is, how can you help us men identify a fake BBL? No, let's stop. No, let me stop. Let me stop. But can you talk to us about the importance? It's part of beauty. It's part of who the persons are. We don't judge. We don't listen. We don't judge. Can you talk about the significance of a woman or a man that wants to go that route to choose a black doctor such as yourself? Because we've seen a lot of bad work, and if you don't have the vision in anything you do, the result can be scrutinized as well. So I'll ask that question, but anyone else that wants to the mic, I'll give it around. The first one was a joke. Let me not get too crazy.
The answer is no. When the legs and the butt don't match. That's the key. When the legs and the butt don't match, there's a big mismatch. It's probably a BBL, but I digress. To answer that very important question, because I do get patients a lot who are specifically seeking a black doctor, specifically female, and you know the statistics are against us. Black surgeons only make up 2% of surgeons in this entire country, and that's for all specialties. So the number drops even further to a fraction of a percentage when you're talking about plastic and reconstructive surgery. So that said, it is important to find someone who echoes your aesthetic, who knows what it feels like to walk in the skin of a black woman. As Maritza mentioned at the top, we have a lot of money in the black community that we spend, maybe even disproportionately compared to other communities, on our look, be it our hair, our makeup, our skin, and everything. And all communities are after those dollars. And one of the things that I have seen in my industry is, I guess I'll call it pandering, you know, where doctors of all persuasions are gonna show you that they listen to hip hop and they wear Jordans and you know, all kinds of things that make you think that they're cool and they know what you want and they know what we're into, but that doesn't make them have the eyes of a black person, the beauty consciousness of a black person, and that unspoken communication that I have with my patients when they say things like, you know, girl, you know, I don't want to look like I just stepped off the stripper pole, but, you know, and I know what the rest of that sentence is, you know, and maybe you don't want to be in a bikini, but you want to have the option. You know, those are certain conversations that as a woman, number one, I can have with someone that flow more easily, and we reach an understanding, you know, my patients and I, about what is it that you're going for. And I think too many times I've met women who have sat down with surgeons and didn't feel the vibe. My biggest advice is, you are spending, this is a huge investment, no matter what you're getting done. If you're down sitting with a surgeon, no matter what they look like, and the vibes are off, go elsewhere. There's too many other options. And too many times we are sitting with someone who doesn't look like us, doesn't sound like us, is not vibing with us, and we still let them do our treatment, and I'm puzzled. So that would be my biggest advice, is that that person has to echo what you're saying.
Hi, I have a question. My name is Steve, one for Nehemi and one for Dr. Celestia. I'll ask Nehemi first. In regards to the social media, was it one platform, or was it a combination of multiple platforms? And if you don't mind saying, how many, like say for instance, how to make $100, how many clicks or likes or it is that you have to do? So that's gonna be your question. And your question, Dr. Celestia, is gonna be based on, do you do the BBLs and stuff like that? Not for me, I'm asking for a friend. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so who do you see, do you ever ask, or does the person that's coming for the surgery, do they ever tell you why they want it done? And is it for their personal reason, if it's a woman, or is it to get a certain man to like them more? Because I don't know about the fellas here. Does anybody here like them butts that look like lazy boy chairs? I've never met a guy who likes that stuff. They start looking like fry guys. They got like a big head body and then a little skinny. Anyway, I'll let y'all answer the question.
I'll start first. Oopsie. So in regards to your question about how viewership and monetization comes into play, so for me personally, I don't rely on social media clicks and likes to get money on the actual app. So I know both platforms provide that. Instagram has a creator program, same with TikTok. I don't rely on those particular monetization programs with those apps because I get direct brand deals from companies. So brands will see the quality of my content and they'll email me for a collaboration. So for me, what works for me, well, I believe social media is a resume. Everything you have on it, it lives on it forever. And also like if you're trying to pivot into fitness or makeup or beauty, I recommend the first 12, the first 12 images or videos you have on your platform should be reflecting what you want. So, you know, like when it comes to the lane you're choosing, like fitness, beauty again. So for me, the last 12 posts I have are beauty, and I'm a beauty creator. So I keep it fresh. I keep organic content rotating so that brands could know, okay, Naomi can create this. I've been tapping more into just being more creative, doing things that are different from what you see on social media, like having fun, you know. I'm really big on my quality, and I charge for that. So if you want like quality videos for your campaign, I that's a charge right there too. So that's how I navigate my platforms, but I don't use the creator program to earn money. I get it from direct brands, to answer your question.
Okay, it was a two-part question, right? We're gonna get into. So the first part was, do you make sure, so one of the things I do as a board-certified plastic surgeon is that we select our clientele, our patients, just as much as you are selecting us. That doesn't go across the board for all people who call themselves doing cosmetic surgery, but that's the importance of carefully selecting your surgeon. Because one of the things I'm going to be doing when I'm meeting with you and consulting with you is evaluating your motivation. And that motivation has to be coming from the patient. If there's a spouse or a boyfriend or a partner in the room who's like, well, I like double Ds and really over talking and all those situations, that's a red flag for someone who's practicing my specialty responsibly. And so we'll always try to take it back to getting down to that person's motivation, because there is such a thing as body dysmorphic disorder, and we are trained repeatedly to spot it and be able to flag it and refer appropriately. I've had patients crying their eyes out in my office because they're not a good candidate for a BBL. And you know, you would think that's insane, right? But there's a condition where that person has a disproportionate belief about what having a flat butt is doing to their life. And so that's somebody that you absolutely shouldn't operate on, because you'll never be able to make them happy, number one. And number two, you're not helping them, you're not solving any of their problems. So you refer that to psychiatry, psychology, if you're smart, because that money will never be worth what you're gonna get on the back end, okay? And then the second part of your question was about women who choose maybe to have the exaggerated look, kind of go for the video vixen look or whatever you want to call it, the stripper look is sometimes what people call it, but I'm in Atlanta. And I say for that, women are between a rock and a hard place, you know? I feel that society tells women that they need to look a certain way, and my other beauty experts can, you know, chime in there. They tell us they want thick red bone, like hair down to her butt, and you know, light skin, and you know, booty, and the small waist, the waist is missing, all this stuff. This comes across in our music, this comes across in social media, this comes across in all forms of entertainment where women are kind of brainwashed this message, especially black women, about what the ideal black woman should look like, right? And so I think it's somewhat unfair for us to be throwing this at women, and especially young women, and then turn around and chastise them for taking steps, you know, to try and fit that aesthetic, because sometimes it is in order to garner the attention of the opposite sex. And a lot of it, I'll tell you, is to garner the respect, admiration of peers and to, fit in among their peer group. And so I think we have to balance, sometimes the opinions on that. There is an exaggeration. There is such a thing as plastic surgeons saying no, like, no, honey, this is your third BBL. That's too much. That needs to be at play here. But also I think we have to work on, just as a society, sending a more balanced message about our aesthetic expectations for women. And I think then that will reflect itself in how young women are seeking to enhance their look.
And I think Young Miami said that recently in regards to Lizzo, when she was heavier,
Yes.
how she used to get a lot of flack for that.
Yes.
And then now that she has lost weight.
Now you're
and-
fake. You're fake.
Right. So it's kind of like you said, it's tough for us women, you know. Them if you do, them if you don't.
Absolutely.
And then like you said, it's kind of like for us, it expects us makeup, hair, whether or not, like if you want to rock it short, if you want to have extensions. So much for us to deal with.
Yeah.
So again, guys, I thank you for. Oh, there's questions. Oh, sorry.
One question for Dr. Celestin. What is the age limit to get surgery done, especially breast augmentation? Do you think saline or silicone, which is best? And if you decide to remove it, like just say 5 or 10 years down the line, what would happen to your health? Would you just go flat? Or will it still have a little something showing?
Okay, so 3 questions. The first question is there an age limit to plastic surgery? The short answer is no. There is, as long as you are healthy, and if you have any health problems like high blood pressure, diabetes, what we're looking for is to make sure those conditions are well controlled. And that's what determines your candidacy more than just your age. Truly, age ain't nothing but a number. Because when you look at the Black community, we're not really needing facelifts until our late 60s, early 70s. So right there, people are like, oh, I'm 70, I'm too old for surgery, but that's exactly when you're gonna start to need it in many cases. The second question you asked was silicone versus saline. I'm a silicone kind of girl, and that boils down to how it feels. There's absolutely no difference in safety profile. They are both FDA-approved devices. And you got to make sure, again, you're going to a board-certified plastic surgeon who's using those FDA-approved devices. But in my preference, I find long-term patients like the feel and natural look of a silicone implant, and it also has less rippling. So for my thinner patients, if you're lining them up, you can pick out the saline because of the rippling. So for that reason, I would choose silicone. Last question, based on whether you remove that implant in a few years, you pretty much end up with what you started. So if you started out like a -A cup and you take them out, yes, you're gonna go back flat. But if you started out with a healthy C cup and you went up and then a few years later you change your mind, taking away gravity and age, you're gonna go back to pretty much what you had before, maybe a little drooping, in which case then I would be able to offer you a lift to remove excess skin.
Thank you. I think we have one more. We have a lot of, 2 more. We do have a lot of guys, they're asking, but they don't want to speak. They want 6-packs. They shy. A lot of the guys are here to my right. All right, Rano, I'm not talking about you. Fabrice and all of that. But anyway.
I think Fred is asking for himself.
No, you got your 6-pack, natural.
Listen, guys, there's waist trainers for guys too, okay? There's waist trainers for guys too.
I think we have 2 more, one here and one over there.
Okay. Thank you so much for saying that, because that's exactly where I wanted to pin back the conversation on men's surgery. That's very popular. And no respect to the guys, but I'm like, I don't give a damn what a woman want to do to her body. It's her body. She want to get a BBL, get that shit. But for men, as far as for you, Dr. Celestine, what is the most popular, I'm sure you get male patients, what is their most popular request for surgery?
Hands down, the most popular thing that men want to do is liposuction. Typically, as we age in the 40s, men are getting that little pooch that used to not be there. They used to just have to do a few sit-ups and it would go away. And because of hormone shifts, they experience them just like women. It's called menopause. they get a little more belly fat. So they usually want to get rid of that, and then also the love handles. That's the most typical. And then the third is removal of male breast tissue. It's a sensitive topic. Some guys struggle with it their whole life. They lift till they're blue in the face. They come in, they have massive pecs, and there's a little bit of breast tissue hanging off of it. So public service announcement, get it done. It's a quick procedure, weekend recovery, and you'll be happy in your shirts off on the beach. You get your tight t-shirts and the wet t-shirt contest.
All right. I think we have two, double.
Hi, ladies. So my question is, I am a graphic and web designer. I've been doing this since 7th grade. That's when I first learned design. I'm appreciated by a lot of my clients and how they've gained confidence in their businesses when I do branding and everything. And it brings me so much comfort. And I find it funny today, as I'm sitting here with my friend and listening to this, I'm like, wow, beauty and confidence and all that. I'm feeling like I'm being drawn, especially like spiritually, to a new level. I'm also a mom of 3 and married, and I get approached by a lot of moms because I've been working from home for 6 years independently, and I'm noticing that my love for design, it's like it's not needing me anymore, and I'm needed in a new space. And I'm like, is this me leaving the comfort zone and being called to a new calling? How would you ladies deal with that when you've been in something for so long? For example, you, Tico, in modeling, you name me, and all of a sudden you just hear this thing that's calling you somewhere that might be where all that you've been visioning about is where the goal is. I feel like that's where I am, and I'd love to hear how you guys would, pivot and go that route.
Oh, wow, that is a really, really good question, because I've been there so many times, more than I can count. I started in modeling, and tout le monde, d'ailleurs, I go into rooms as an author or as something else, and you oh, gade mannequin. Literally, that name is attached to me, like I'm stained with that. But what I will say to you is, you're not a tree. Move. Parce que for me, I thought modeling was end all be all. M'te gantan di bon Dieu, m'vle figim, et tout ti moun tap soufi gangou Haiti for my face to be that face to feed them and so on and so forth. And the reality of it is, people never talk about the ugly side of beauty and what that looks like. And people never, they won't showcase their struggles on social media. They'll just come and brag about, oh, I just got this, I just got that, and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. There came a time where modeling was boring to me. Parce que for me, everything has to be aligned with purpose. Look at it, all you doing, wearing designer clothes. I thought, well, I'm like, man, how many more poses? Okay, because I've been doing the same thing over and over. And I wanted to get into acting. I really did. But then it's like, I have no acting experiences. I never went to school for acting. Who's gonna take me seriously? But I knew that something was pulling me in that direction, right? But c'est tout, c'est parce que, when you're a commercial model, you make so much more money, than just a regular model, right? And I went, thank God, I have friends that are just as crazy as I am, and, they were into film. And that's how I got into, my first film or whatever. And I'm like, man, I really like this. It's pretty cool, right? And then I started doing some more filming, some more shorts and movies, independent films and so on and so forth. Now, not every storyline was to my liking, but I had a plan, I had a goal. I know where I wanted to go with it, okay? Long story short, about 2.5 years ago, I went and I did a movie called July 7th. It's inspired by the assassination of, the Haitian president, right? We did this movie, and I was just blown away by the history of this man, what he represented, and so on and so forth. And the team that I work with, and I'll go back to the beautiful influencer down there, what she said in reference to God, just aligning. It's not what you want, it's like, God, what do you want for me? And how do you align whatever it is with the purpose that you have for me and my life? I did this movie. This movie stopped pour 2 ans et demi. I'm like, get man, belle movie comme ça, je trouve tout le temps ça, et puis yo pas fait rien avec, ça me rien avec ici, oui. And guess what? We literally just did our premiere for the movie. We shut down downtown, Haitians shut down downtown Miami. Literally, we brought Hollywood to downtown Miami. Not only that, because we dreamed bigger. Not only that, our movie is the first Haitian movie, aside from Bob Marley movie, to be showcased in box offices. July 7th is going to showcase in box office. Okay? The weekend of May 16th. Literally, you can walk to your cinema and say, I am here to watch July 7th. Literally, starting in May, you go to the movie theater to go watch another movie. You will see the trailer of July 7th, letting you know, hey, we are coming soon. And it's not for me, it's not even oh my God, I did this. It's like, whoa, Haitians did this. We're doing this. And it takes you getting out of your comfort zone. Because I told you, I didn't know how to act, but something was pushing me in that direction. And now what? I am SAG qualified, okay? I can be a SAG. Mboko pale parce que lo ale na ba sa o pa ka faire independent movie yo. Mboko pale mboko pale. Non, mboko pour mal jambe ba sa kounya petit je parler pour ken bagay. Kounya la back at square one. No, jamais du tout. But I just say that to say, don't stick with one thing. I know there's a book that's called One Thing. I'm getting a million things, okay? And I'm going to try each and every one of them out. And whatever works, works. And what doesn't work, it was a lesson that I can apply to something else. So if you're being called to do something different, do it. And still do whatever else you do to the side. But do it. And see where it leads you, because it may lead you to something bigger and greater that aligns with your purpose, and not put more money in your pocket. That's it.
I'm gonna add to your question, and I'm gonna give it to you so you can answer. I'm going to the same thing. I came into the business being a stylist. In terms of for the past 6-7 years, I've been in that world, fashion and beauty. And the impact I wanted to make in the community, I have. And then last year, I find myself where I no longer saw me as being impactful in that space. Forget about how people see you, it also how do you see yourself. Then I looked at our community as a whole. How do we grow? How do we leave an impact? How do we leave a legacy? And all of that happens through finance, money. Doesn't have to be your money. Then I realized with everything that's been going on with immigration, the last election, we are so poor as a community collectively. We may be rich, they are culturally. I'm not even gonna say we are rich. I mean, there's people that have money, but they don't have wealth. We have rich Haitians, but we don't have wealthy Haitians. Because we look at it as we're making money for ourselves or the family. But how do we as a community collectively leave an impact? So that's my purpose. It took me a while to actually speak about it publicly, because my whole thing is, am I gonna confuse my demographics on coming from fashion, going into finance? I prayed. There is power in praying. First, I didn't even know how to pray, right? Grew up Catholic, you got your Bible, this and so on and so forth. Then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna talk. Just gonna talk. And then every day, it just started to grow. You start seeing it more clearly. And now, I'm a full-time financial advisor with New York Life.
Yes.
And the past 2 months, the amount of cases I've been able to put together for Haitians in the community, in terms of there's so many of us here that do not have life insurance. Life insurance is the biggest financial product to set a legacy and build wealth in our community. And that's what I'm passionate about now. So for you, go do whatever it is that is inside of you. The web graphic designer will still be around. I still get called about styling. And now, as a second panel, we have a podcast coming up. You know what it's called? The Business of Fashion and Finance.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So, I think we have one more.
No, I
So-
had to answer your question.
Answer. Okay.
I'll be quick, y'all. My bad. Messy. But Maritza, I want to tell you thank you so much for bringing us all together. I feel like, you know, when it comes to the Haitian community, it's like we're doing our very best and through our own journey and our own pathways to succeed and pay homage to our country and also honor our families too, and honor the families that we create as well too. But I appreciate you so much for honoring us today on this stage. You didn't have to do this, but I'm happy to be here with everyone. And thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. And in regards to your question about pivoting, I feel like if you're scared about it, it's a good thing. My husband always tell me if you're scared about it, it means you're excited about it. It means it's a good thing. So it doesn't hurt to pivot and just try it out. And I also believe, you know, you live once, you know, why not try it out? You know, you live once. And also, I am big on my intuition. For a long time, I avoided my intuition. For a long time, I felt like, you know, l'église, l'école, la caille, my mom's like, you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be a nurse, you gotta do this stuff. And for so long, I've been creative. Prior to even what I'm doing now, I used to wanna like be an artist. I used to paint a lot. And my mom's like, but what an artist, you can't be, you won't be no money being an artist and stuff. I'm like, okay, fine. So I listened to her and I stopped doing that, right? And then I got into music. I used to compete, I used to play guitar, I used to play the drums. I used to win guitars. I have like 2 guitars at the house that I won from competing just, you know, in high school just for fun. And I was like, I might get into music. My mom's like, Nemi, please, please, please. My mom told me if she see me at the train station playing guitar, like, bat mwe. I would never do that. Yo, so I pivoted again and I decided to jump into, I went to college and my mom's like, you know what, if you don't be a doctor, be a social worker. So I did. I studied human services for 2 years. I got my first degree in human services, and my last year in that program, they put me in the field. They're like, you know what, do an internship with this caregiving company, see how it is, and that was the worst thing I've ever experienced. I cried every day. I feel like I have a big heart, but that's scary, and in my heart, I was carrying the workload home. And I learned, I'm thankful for that school. I learned that was in my path, you know? I took a 1.5 years off from school, and I'm like, let me jump into modeling. I was doing extra, you know, the extras in the movies, like background extras. I was doing that for a year, I think. I was reaching out to photographers to do test shoots, because I know in my tummy, my intuition told me, like, get into the arts, get into these things. And then I became a full-time creator from that. And then my mom always told me, just get your bachelor's degree. But I did it for me, but I did it for her too, so she could shut up, you know. But I did it for me. And I got my degree, so I ended up graduating with a BA at FIT. I'm an FIT alumni. And, period. And it was really for her. And mind you, I graduated, I'm like, Mom, God, did we? And mind you, I graduated during COVID. She was like, oh, God, didn't me? I didn't even know he was still in school. I'm like, are you serious? Anyway, but I'm happy I took that risk in between time and just continued doing what I was doing. So even when I was in school, I was still modeling. I was still going to shoots. I was still doing campaigns. And then COVID happened, and I mentioned earlier, I did a pivot. But it was scary because like when COVID happened, everything shut down. PT, I'm like, I don't need. Like, I was scared, you know? But like I discovered TikTok, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go insane. I'm gonna just dump into just, you know, doing content too. And that was a risk that I took. And I took that risk. I was scared, but I was excited doing it. And I was happy to see the engagement increase. I was happy to connect with the Haitian community. I didn't know the Haitian community really was out here until I discovered TikTok. Like, they support so much on that platform, and they really helped my career. So shout out to Haiti always. I always put Haiti in the forefront. I love Haitians for real. But that pivot really changed my life. And it took that risk, but it was, again, through prayer, through just, you know, follow my intuition. So definitely get in tune with yourself, get in tune with that feeling you get in your stomach. Because if you don't, like, work on it, like, you will never be happy. That's how I see it. And also, I've seen somewhere on TikTok that if you don't work on your dreams now, you're gonna gift your kid that dream. And are you okay with your children soaring with your dream? You know what I mean? Like, are you okay with that? And I'll be okay with it. If my kid become the next, you know, Beyonce, I'm like, yes, I'm here with it, you know? But that's usually how it is. And some parents, they resent their kids that carry their dream that they didn't pursue here. So as long as you're living, just push forward and try. It doesn't hurt to try, you know? So that's my advice.
Thank you. We do have another panel. I know we have another question. She's gonna be quick. We will take, right after this question, we'll take a quick break, play some music. Please don't leave, because we need y'all. And we're gonna ask the next question. To your point, Moritz, I think the community, not just Haitian, as a black community, we are leveraging GoFundMe as an insurance plan. This is not it. I mean, I spent 26 years in finance. You see it each and every day. Folks don't understand that this is one of the biggest investments that you can make. Let's talk money. People don't like talking money. They don't like getting in marriages, talk money. They don't get in relationship and talk money. Everybody's afraid. If you don't put these bills on the table and have a real conversation, you're in trouble. Because it's coming regardless. Some people just shire bill ovini. In 2 years, they lose their house, they lose a car, bad credit. And you're talking about wealth. You can't build without having that. So this community, not that we don't have money, we have what we call what they call this in my field, we call it a positive, false positive. A lot of these Haitian people have what they call a false positive. They're acting like they got money, but they don't have it. Ask them for 5,000, 300. They don't have that. You gotta build. The shoes, the coats, the Louis, all that, it's there. But how do you use that money? If we invested $1,000 back when Apple was at what it's at, all of us will be sitting very nicely right now. But we don't think about that. But we can say it's not our fault, but because our parents, but we can learn. We have the education, we have the information, so that. All right.
Hello, I'm Mimi. Really quick. First of all, my friend did my logo for my business. She's amazing. So yeah, you can still book her. Real quick, 2 questions actually, Margie. So I have an online boutique, and I'm just now realizing, like last week, I keep saying, in 5 years, yeah, I want a store. In 5 years, I want a store. And that was like 10 years. I know I look young, but I'm 32. And so now I'm thinking of, like, I actually want to go that route and next year actually get a physical store. So how did you go about, I know you said you went around the other optical places and asked, but other than that, other steps.
that you went to get there. And Tigo, you might have touched on it a little bit, but I take pride in being multifaceted. I like to do so many things. I'm good at many things, but the underlying is fashion. So just how do you handle that?
I'm curious, what kind of business?
Online boutique, women's clothing.
Go for it. Do it scared, do it, just do it. Do it. We don't have time for business plan and this and that. Build it slow if you have to. We just don't. It's just reality.
Machi, we got to talk. We need a business plan. We got to see in 5 years from now, what is this going to be? Think big. I know what you mean. You got to make it happen.
You know what it is? A lot of time we scare our own self into not doing stuff. Your girl right there, she's probably amazing. Your heart is calling you to do something else. Tap into your own heart. You obviously, you fly as hell. What's the problem? What's the problem? Just do it. Like, you don't have to. This is the thing. We try to do too much at one period of time. Just do it slowly. Test the waters. Get friendly with some people. You know where my store is? Come visit. Like, I'm big in helping other people. Ex-Fred, he thinks like I'm like the coordinator of meeting people because I like to see other people shine. And I've always been blessed because I help other people. There's obviously something you want to do. You guys are young. Like, I'm old. You're young. So, like, at this stage of the game, at this juncture, this is when you take your chances in life. You don't want to stay around and say, well, what if I did this? Like she just said, you don't want to ever have to doubt, like, what if I did this? What if I did that? And it's great. He's a businessman. Fred is into finance, so he's big into business plans.
Maggie, you're not old, you're seasoned.
We're
going to play peace. I'll play peace.
But you know
All
what
right,
it
listen.
Wait, let me answer.
Oh, you got to finish.
Let me answer your question.
We got more questions, but
So,
we got to stop.
I'm gonna be very, very honest right now. Very vulnerable, very transparent. When I started doing modeling full time, I'm venu réaliser que I started to hate it. And the reason why is because I was taking on every job so I can pay the bills. Because now it became my full-time job. Ou pa kan gede for arrive nan set, like everything triggers you. And it's not the people, it's you. Because bills are piling up. Ou non vie job kote mbal met ton vie rad avon soulier ki 3 piti pou mwen, okay? Pou mka fon on ti l'argent, that's not even gonna pay the bill fully. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, I hate this thing. Like, they're using me, you know? And so for me, that's how I started to get into other things. Because sometimes you gotta step away from that thing, right? To see, do I really love this? You know, why am I really doing it? Does it align with what where I envision myself, you know, 2-3 years down the line? Et ça fait toujours dire moun, try any and everything. Because, as I said before, I thought modeling was the lottery ticket for me. Modeling didn't get me there. You know, so many rooms that I have entered, it's because mekriti liv timoun, or, you know, mwen se yon actrice, or whatever. And I thought modeling would get me there. So I say this to say, do it all. Do it all. Si jodi ala, you know, you do this, demain si you're not feeling it, do something else. Stop listening to people saying, oh, just do one thing. At the rate inflation is right now, no besoin même 50 jobs. And that's just the reality, and people don't like to keep it real, okay? And in the industry that we're in, our money fluctuate. Semaine sa la riche, let's all go out. 2 jours, petit, m'a gon pen in the pocket, qui buy happy hour sa? I can't do it. And it's just the reality, right? And you just have to find that balance. It's like getting on a bike, you know, with the training wheels, and then you start to take the training wheels off. Find your balance. But if your heart calls you to do it, do it. Fashion will always be there. Not tout bagay mo pote fashion.
Fashion everywhere.
As an author, I walk in, you do, ça c'est author, ça? Yes, a fashionable author.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it all.
Again, it was amazing. I thank you, ladies, for your insights, your experiences, and thank you. We'll take a short break, and then we'll come back with the last panel.
All right. Thank you, guys. You could do a one-out.
Check. Bonsoir tout le monde. Comment nous est? Attendez, tout dit nous ça, nous va venir dans le cimetière là. Nous venons enjoy. OK, si silence cimetière ça l'homme besoin m'a fait nous connaître. C'est un plaisir pour BIC Tison dit fait là avec nous à Big up Steve, Haïti débloqué. Haïti débloqué son histoire qui commençait longtemps et il était commencé pas seulement monde même il fait partie d'un monde qui commençait avec mouvement ça en Haïti. So merci Steve parce que on fois encore vous menez ici. Ça qui va passer à simple pour nous mêmes qui gagne quelques temps dans Haïti à travers la musique nous allons visiter le pays ça que nous connaissons nous aimer en pile là. Donc principe là simple. Côté musicien yo. Principe là simple. Madame musicien venez s'il vous plaît parce que il est voilà. Principe là simple. C'est que depuis où qu'on a musique chanter. OK? Parce que pour bien comprendre, il y a un paywall pour les gens qui chantent. USA, les gens ne travaillent gratis. De pour chanter, ou à toucher. Maman a une phrase qui dit l'ouvrier qui travaille. OK? Pas manger comme moi, mal, l'un qui chanter, chanter. Maman de musiciens monter parce que. Et il faut nous connaître chaque fois qu'on a chanté plus fort que le manager me saute. Pas il qui a fait paywall là. Donc, à ce moment-là, nous allons un bâtiment de quai. Nous allons voir ça? All right, m'a demandé nous, moi Velino, me content ouais, ça fait longtemps que nous sommes scène. Yeah man. Qui me content ouais. Combien de cadavres nous gagnons pour qu'un cimetière rempli? Combien de bouquets pour nous gagner qui cachent de l'eau la pluie? Combien de partis politiques qui obligent nos partis? Combien de nous cap étudier pour nous gratter senti? Combien de monde qui péri règles qui déréglé? Combien alcali droit de goût qui nous dégoûté? Combien souffle notre chou qui pour que dit nous pas jamais rien? Combien de caoutchouc en tout qui te baille les brins? Combien de chauffeurs tête mato nous baille mener nous déjà? Combien de fois yo ban mal pour opter yo dit nous c'est déjà? Combien de pour nous gagner pour nous bérir moucher intel? Ça passe dans le jazz là. Mesdames et messieurs, applaudissez jazz là qui a chauffé moi s'il vous plaît. Jazz a chauffé en façon pas comme applaudissez quand même mettez comme monsieur. Ne lo applaudissez ça. Combien de cadavres pour nous gagner pour un cimetière rempli? Combien de bouquets pour nous gagner qui cachent de l'eau la pluie? Combien de partis politiques qui obligent nos partis? Combien de nous qui étudier pour nous gratter senti? Combien de monde qui péri règles qui déréglé? Combien alcali toi dégoût qui nous dégoûté? Combien souffle notre chou qui pour que dit nous pas jamais rien? Combien caoutchouc en tout qui te baille les brins? Combien chauffeurs tête mato nous baille mener nous déjà? Combien fois yo man mal pour opter yo dit nous c'est déjà? Combien bé pour nous gagner pour nous bérir manger intel? Pour le cabane on dégager pour petit nous goûter sel? Combien calculer pour nous calculer pour nous calculer pour nous calculer? Avant me joindre combien cervelle qui boule? N'en réfléchis crâne tête qui coule? Combien calculer pour calculer pour calculer pour calculer? Jeune garçon ou femme qui espérait la vie meilleure avant yo expiré. Combien de nous qui n'ont trop pressé, casser tête orteil? Combien de nous qui boit, mais qui pas respecter bouteille? Combien de nous qui quoi, zot a retiré nous nan won? Mais c'est comme si nous devons médecine sous compte pétade marron. Combien papa qui pas qu'à garder petit yo danger? Parce que yo t'es sauvé, maman accouché, enragé. Combien archives nationales qui travaillent nous tout papier? Combien patrimoine national yo foulé en papier? Combien chrétiens jodi y'a prêt pour mourir pour Jésus? Si on moun te levé mail en vérité m'tap saisi. Combien moun en Haïti k'ap touché par quinzaine. Combien l'autre qui manquait 11 pour le gagner une douzaine. Combien de nègres qui te pensé l'aile grande, tape grand nègre. Combien grand nègre pour m'blender pour bombe, yon bon nègre, ça ne va pas. Combien zéro pour mettre au quotient. Avant me joindre des trois graines, haïtiens qui conscient chanter. Combien cal avant me joindre combien cervelle qui boulait. Dans réfléchi crâne, tête qui coulait. Côté choral la patente de chanter. Combien calculer pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer. Jeune garçon ou femme qui espérait. La vie meilleure avant yo expiré. Nous avons bonsoir. Nous avons bonsoir. Nous avons bonsoir. Nous n'en phase pour faire répétition avec choral la konya. Nous n'en phase nous allons faire répétition. L'eau. Mais avant de faire répétition, je vais prendre deuxième couplet. Phrase là pour moi, dernière syllabe là pour nous. Je vais prendre deuxième couplet. Toute phrase là pour moi, dernière syllabe là pour nous. Nous allons faire ça. Nous laissez ça. Vous laissez ça. L'eau. Combien de nous qui n'ont trop pressé, casser tête ça. Combien de nous qui boit, mais qui pas respecter vous. Combien de nous qui quoi, sont à retirer nous non. C'est comme si nous te prend médecine sous compte pétadma. Combien papa qui pas garder petit yo non. Parce que yo te sauvé maman accouché dans la. Combien archives nationales qui gagne nous tout bas. Combien patrimoine national yo foulé en bas. Combien chrétiens jodi y a prêt pour mourir bouger. Si yon moun te levé main en vérité m'tapse. Combien moun en Haïti k'ap touché paquet. Combien l'autre qui manquait 11 pour le gagner dou. Combien de nègres qui te pensent l'aile grande t'apprend. Combien de grand nègres pour me blender pour bombe yon bon. Ça ne va pas. Combien zéro pour mettre au go. L'eau. Et pas comme ça n'a mangé comme là. Si n'a mangé comme là, mangez le bien. Vous voulez entendre des chorales là qui a dernier syllabe là, ok? Si n'a mangé comme disons faire manger le bien. N'a pas refait l'eau parce que vous voulez entendre des gens qui mangé comme moi. Bien, allez. Combien de nous qui n'ont trop pressé, casser tête ça. Combien de nous qui boit, mais qui pas respecter vous. Combien de nous qui quoi, zot a retiré nous non. C'est comme si nous te prend médecine sous compte pétadma. Combien papa qui pas garder petit yo non. Parce que yo te sauvé maman accouché dans la. Combien archives nationales qui cabane nous tout bas. Combien patrimoine national yo foulé en bas. Combien chrétiens jodi y'a prêt pour mourir bouger. Si yon moun te levé mail en vérité m'tapse. Combien moun qui dans New York t'a touché paquet. Combien l'autre qui manquait 11 pour le gagner dou. Combien de nègres qui te pensent l'aile grande t'a grand. Combien de nègres pour m'blender pour bombe yon bon. Ça ne va pas. Combien zéro pour mettre au co. Avant de joindre des trois graines haïtiens. Choral la chanter. Combien calculer pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer. Avant de joindre combien cervelle qui boulait. Dans réfléchi crâne, tête qui coulait. Chanter, combien calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer. Jeune garçon ou femme qui espérait. La vie meilleure avant yo ek. L'eau. T'as l'air de me syllabe, il y a qui m'a deux syllabes. Dans des quinzaines, dans des douzaines, pendant que je m'en seule syllabe. Ok? Comme nous avons bon deux syllabes, nous allons laisser là avec deux syllabes. Ok? Vous voulez ça? Combien de syllabes, moi, m'en décounia? Combien de syllabes, moi, m'en décounia? Combien de syllabes, nous allons, ouais? Ok! Nous partons là. Combien de nous qui n'ont trop pressé, casser tête. Combien de nous qui boit, mais qui pas respecter. Combien de nous qui quoi, ça t'a retiré nous. C'est comme si nous te médecine sous compte pétade. Combien de papa qui pas garder petit yo. Parce que yo te sauvé maman accouché non. Combien archives nationales qui cabane nous toutes. Combien patrimoine national yo foulé en. Combien chrétiens jodi y'a prêt pour mourir pour. Si yon moun te levé mail en vérité m'tap. Combien moun en Haïti k'ap touché pas. Combien l'autre qui manquait 11 pour le gagnant. Comme un petit nègre qui te pense l'aile grande, tape grand nègre, comme un grand nègre, pour me blender, pour bombe, yon bon nègre, ça ne va pas, combien zéro pour me mettre au quotient, avant de joindre des trois graines, haïtiens, choral la chanter, combien calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer, avant de joindre combien cervelle qui boulait, dans réfléchir crâne, tête qui coulait. Bon, madame chanter, combien calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer. Jeune garçon avec femme qui espérait la vie meilleure avant yo expiré. 6 ans d'y fait à 10 toi, pour nos pays ça cap marché prêté toi, pour nos pays ça cap marché prêté toi. Pour nos pays, ça nous t'a doué fouetter. Top bagaille nous fait, je dis à que mais nous qu'à regretter. Top moun qui pas t'a doué sous moun. Top moun qui pas semblé à moun. Top tombé levé, top levé tombé. Toi j'ai qu'à flotter en l'air d'un conti qu'à bomber. Combien calculer pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer. Avant de jouer combien cervelle qui boulait. N'en réfléchis crâne tête qui coulait. Vas-y, combien calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer. Quel garçon à femme qui espérait meilleur avant yo expiré. Mon Filino is in the house. Alright. Assure-nous avec BICT sont différents. Nous commençons à chauffer, nous commençons à remettre ça dans le fer. Mais c'est beaucoup de bagages là, ça, ok? De temps en temps, on a pas volé. Venez prendre plaisir. Il faut participer dans le plaisir, ok? C'est pour ça, la dernière fois, nous allons nous chanter le refrain en moins. Refrain 1, 2, 3, à vous. Combien calculer? Vous calculez, vous calculez. Avant de jouer combien cervelle qui boulait. N'en réfléchis crâne tête qui coulait. Combien calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer, pour calculer. Jeune garçon avec femme qui espérait la vie meilleure avant yo expiré. Regardez, ingénieur vient de mon code. Ingénieur dégage au vin de mon code. Je me sens si nous avons cabrit nous mettre dans code et puis nous mesurer code moi. Ingénieur dégage au laguer code là dedans même. Bon. C'est exactement comme ça me voulait. Énergie, ou bon petit bagay, dégagez un bon code. Bon, moi niveau code moi. Moi niveau code moi. Ya. Énergie. Énergie nous besoin maintenant et nous nous pour le sortir. Vous d'accord sur ça? Alright, bon. Je vais le partager avec nous. Une musique. Oui, c'est une musique là pour bien comprendre. Parce que l'homme t'a pensé à la musique, il t'a fait son clac. Et puis clac là dit, j'aime regarder la société, j'aime regarder le pays, l'île pour me faire une radiographie de lui. Mais comme musique elle est à suivre. Combien de monde là connaît des musiques à suivre? À suivre ces musiques Nelo, ouais. À suivre ces musiques Araka, vous connaissez ça. Moi je vais partager texte avec nous. Ou même qui pour une chance de à suivre, moi mando porter attention pour enjoy musique ça qui est. Quelqu'un let's go. Yes sir. Let's go quelqu'un. OK. L'aimerie, ça fait me sentir plus bien que l'aime prier, c'est pour ça que je vais monter sur une scène à clonanger. Comme chanter, c'est la plus belle façon pour me prier. Je ne vais pas mettre la foi dans la religion pour ne pas endommager. Moi, connais nous les biographies de toute façon. Moi, connais nous connaissons ça fait dans quelques autres nations. Pas différent de Jésus-Christ, il fait nos packs bêtes, il fait nos capitales qui tournent, il pas de cochon. En tant que petit cochon, me fait valer et on joue des parents pour qu'ils jouent le poésie long comme ça. Yo répond, yo dit c'est fini ou fini. Haïti pas quoi dans Valais, on les va comprendre ça. Je dis à monsieur, je regrette dans l'école, boule plus 14 ans, malgré ça m'a boule caoutchouc. Et si je peux bouler tout les certificats, c'est parce que maman vivant, m'a tout souhaité dans cloué caloche bouché là-bas. Si vous rencontrez un monde avec diplôme ici, c'est parce que les gars ont parents ou bien pas bien visa. Depuis peut-être tout petit, n'a pas calé ouest, ghetto police pété balle, l'état pas pété ban sans si. Moi j'ai des petites filles, des DS. Artiste pays pété chapeau, j'ai fait yo parti. En parlant des artistes, mais c'est chapeau bas. Nous détrôner machin poisson, moi dit chapeau bas. Y'en a nous qui vivent l'idée, moi dit chapeau bas. Nous répétons qu'on calmation, moi dit chapeau bas. Ah, passe pour média, gardez chapeau bas. Nous promoter ça qui pas bon, yo moi dit chapeau bas. Comme pas de promotion sans promoteur, m'a salé promoteur et j'ai artiste. Oui, bouquet, chita gade bouki, café timali souké. Bouquet, franchement bouquet, ouais ti jeune, tourne tout tous, grand monde yo zo bouquet. Ha, Haïti chéri m'kono gal reprocher, l'autre de mal vivre dans yon l'autre pays qui embauché. M'kono des gens ou après reprocher artiste avant, yo c'est pas yo qui décide, c'est l'état haïtien qui vend yo. On pays qui a 5 problèmes, corruption, 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 corruption. Sur 5 moun qui 4 corrupteurs, plus difficile pour respirer que pour vivre dans la corruption. Dans boîte d'état, il y a 3 moun qui besoin recycler. Dans boîte d'état, il y a 3 moun qui besoin retraiter. Nous cherchons jeunes femmes à niveau, mais pas quand ils juste demandé qui niveau, je pour qu'à lever. Oh, bon fini. Bon fini. Ils ont dit fait bon fini l'eau. Brancher l'autre si monsieur l'eau. L'école t'es toujours tête en bas, même t'es toujours soumettre. Pas toujours d'accord avec parents, même t'es toujours soumettre. Et depuis là, ils ont dit fait y'a dans musique, les moutons qui dans mi-temps pour y vider. Poésie toujours gain mettre. Mais entre nous, pépé, sous parents, mais la boue. Qui ça va faire la chambre pour que pas chita dans la cour. Ou expliquer, même toujours pour qu'on comprenne. L'État parlé des pays, m't'as cool, t'as parlé des fonds de jambes. Intellectuel, l'État pas besoin. Ou bien colonne vertébrale, l'État pas besoin. Ou sont malheureux honnêtes, l'État pas besoin. Si souris t'as mangé poésie, l'État pas besoin. Nous gain gaz dans vente, pas gain gaz dans pompe. Peuple apprend la ripoule, demander l'État porter le secours. Entre temps, il l'autre qui gain gaz, machine blindée, à sécurité pour transporter poupou. Nous la carte n'a pas surveillé, jour grand goût, pour nous faire profiter manger, belle poésie, moi écrit yo. Nous la carte n'a pas surveillé, jour raser, pour nous faire profiter chanter, des musiques qui pas les pères yo. Disons dit fait échapper des gens, pas qu'à mal job. Disons dit fait pas n'a chanter pour bourgeois mal propre. Moi t'es besoin pays pour petit, moi t'es vivre. Nous forcer me faire yo aller, bagay ça lui fait mal trop. Bagay pour me perdre. Tout ça me procéder, c'est musique qui m'a moi. Et pour tout promoteur qui t'a bon danti, rat mon bel grain dans baou, ou à bam yo grain dans pour l'eau. En parlant de promoteurs qui ça n'a promoté, nous pensons que t'as porté ta lamba nous pour nous gagoter. Si yo te gen micro dans pantalon moins, s'ils ont dit fait c'est un boss. Pas attendre m'a vu demander nous vieux faveur. Moi gen longtemps me changer poste, l'eau propre avec de la boue pas gen me savait. Respect pour quelques animateurs qui éduqué, qui dans micro, qui compte ça y a fait. Respect pour quelques journalistes qui battent bête, qui gagnent tête, qui connaissent notre tête yo. Pour toute machin micro qui a brassé, Bill artiste. Si pas pour album dans radio encore, c'est parce que étranger pas porté, mais nous toujours il est au grade. Adolescent dans alcool avec cigarette. Parlementaire couillon quand son sans braguette. Messieurs les magistrats pas gain poubelle, même pour la Kylie. Président pas mettre pantalon dans taille. Gagnons bon moun dans opposition, vrai, qui pas gain vraie position. Gagnons bon l'autre dans gouvernement, quoi, yon pied de yon pied en dedans. Les au Québec pied, yon volant la ville, là l'on réalisé tête là c'est Pétionville lié. Si au Québec jouet, yon est Pétionville, gardez si c'est pas Périque, yon doit son tête calé lié. Les au Québec pied, yon volant la ville, là l'on réalisé tête là c'est Pétionville lié. Si au Québec jouet, yon est Pétionville, gardez si c'est pas Périque, yon doit son tête calé lié. L'aime ça fait me sentir plus bien que l'aime crier. C'est pour ça que je vais monter sur une scène avec le danger. Comme chanter, c'est plus belle façon pour me prier. Je ne pas mettre la foi dans la religion pour ne pas endommager. Moi, connais nous les biographies de toute façon. Moi, connais nous connaissons fait dans quelques autres nations. Je suis différent de Jésus-Christ. Il fait non pas bête, il fait non capital qui tourne, il pas cochon. En tant que petit cochon, je fais valem et un jour, je demande parents pour qu'ils jouent le poésie long comme ça. Yo répondu, dit c'est vini ou vini, Haïti par quoi dans Valais, on les va comprendre ça. Je dis, mais c'est moi regrette dans l'école, je boule plus que 14 ans, malgré ça, je boule caoutchouc. Et si je boule tout vieux certificat.